Zoos are incredibly captivating destinations, especially for those who have a strong interest in observing wildlife. They can be seen as a paradise for nature enthusiasts. However, due to the presence of animals in captivity, there is always a chance for unpredictable and crazy situations to occur. In this video, we will explore various instances in zoos where things took unexpected turns. These incidents are so unbelievable that if there were no recordings, people would doubt their validity. Let's delve into 20 mind-boggling zoo moments that will leave you astounded. Number 1. A close encounter. When visiting the zoo, there are a limited number of rules to adhere to. One of these rules, as expected, is to maintain a safe distance from the animals. However, what happens if you accidentally drop your beloved hat into the tiger enclosure? Well, in the case of this woman, the solution seemed apparent. Retrieve it herself. In a video taken at the Toronto Zoo in December 2016, a woman mistakenly dropped her hat into the tiger enclosure. Rather than accepting the loss and purchasing a replacement, she resolved to retrieve her hat and proceeded to climb over the fence. Consequently, the tiger became visibly agitated and attempted to capture what it perceived as a potential meal. Fortunately, the woman was separated from the tiger by a single fence and managed to retrieve her hat before promptly returning to safety. It is difficult to fathom the level of risk involved in this endeavor, all for the sake of a simple hat. Presumably, it must have been a rather expensive fashion accessory for such a daring act. Number 2, back off my family. When considering conflicts between different species at zoos, our typical thought is of lions battling tigers or gorillas engaging in combat. However, it is surprising to see that even the smallest and most unexpected creatures can confront and defend themselves against much larger opponents. An instance of this occurred at the Brookfield Zoo in Illinois in 2012. In a video depicting the event, a goose fearlessly took on not just one, but 3 giraffes. The giraffes did not have any intention of harming the geese, as they are herbivores incapable of consuming them. Nevertheless, the male goose, acting as a protective parent, refused to take any risks. When he noticed the giraffes departing, he bravely stood up for his family regardless of the significant size discrepancy. Remarkably, he succeeded in driving the giraffes away. This serves as a valuable lesson. Sometimes it is not the size of an individual in a conflict that matters, but rather their determination and resilience. Number 3, the zoo is the best. Previously mentioned, many animals confined in zoos desire some amount of freedom. They have a strong desire to venture out into the world and regain their liberty. However, this does not necessarily imply that they would enjoy being free for an extended period. In November 2017, a video went viral depicting a hippopotamus escaping from a safari in Tel Aviv. The enormous creature seemed to be casually strolling when it noticed that, inexplicably, the gate to the safari was wide open and unattended. Without hesitation, the hippo confidently walked out of the facility. Surprisingly, just 2 minutes later, it returned to the safari. It seems as though the hippo caught a glimpse of the outside world and promptly decided, "Nope, I would prefer to remain in the zoo." Despite these bizarre incidents, I still find zoos to be highly intriguing places. Just exercise caution and refrain from foolishly entering an animal's enclosure or getting too close. Number 4, checking on the gram. Observing the interactions between humans and other primates is always fascinating, and gorillas are among the most intelligent of these creatures. It is intriguing to see how gorillas become captivated by things that we often overlook. One such example is a heartwarming moment when a gorilla and a man connect over online pictures of other gorillas. This incident took place at the Louisville Zoo in September 2016, where the man managed to grab the gorilla's attention by sharing images of its fellow species. The gorilla seems completely engrossed, suggesting that it hasn't experienced such a level of fascination before, possibly due to being accustomed to entertaining humans throughout its life. It's heartening to see the gorilla find its own source of amusement in this encounter. Number 5, the dancing bear. If you believed that only humans have the ability to dance, then you're mistaken. The thing about rhythm is that once it hits you, you can't help but start moving, even for polar bears. In a video taken at the Pittsburgh Zoo in May of 2016, a polar bear unexpectedly showed off its dance moves. The bear was seen intermittently leaving and returning to its den, but during one of its exits, it decided to groove a bit, much to the delight of the onlookers. It's unclear whether there was music playing in the enclosure or if the bear had imagined a catchy tune, but either way it was definitely feeling the rhythm. Number 6. Interspecies tug-of-war. The question of strength between species has long been debated, particularly regarding humans and animals. Instances of people defeating animals in combat, both in real life and in movies, have fueled speculation about humans' ability to hold their own against animals. An interesting way to test strength would be through a tug-of-war, which was precisely what a Russian bodybuilder decided to do at a local zoo in December 2020. The zookeepers filmed the encounter, with one end of a rope being passed into the tiger's enclosure, while the other end was given to the bodybuilder. The competition was intense, with the tug-of-war seesawing back and forth. However, once the tiger managed to secure a firm grip and find its footing, it quickly overpowered the bodybuilder. He acknowledged defeat and realized the battle was over. Nevertheless, it is worth recognizing the bodybuilder's impressive endurance and determination to have even reached that point. Number 7. The orangutan kiss. They claim that many apes possess comparable or even greater intelligence than humans, although I am not very knowledgeable about the topic and will defer to scientists for the arguments. However, what I do know is that many apes are undoubtedly very sensitive. In the following video, which was filmed at a zoo in England in August 2015, a pregnant woman visits the orangutan enclosure and experiences something truly remarkable. As she approaches the enclosure, the orangutan, who appears quite tired, stands up and is seemingly drawn to her. The woman had a visible baby bump as she was 4 months pregnant, which reportedly caught the orangutan's attention. It approached the bump, affectionately touching and kissing it on the glass. The orangutan's adoration for the cute baby bump is undeniable, and its actions are undeniably heartwarming. If this isn't an irresistibly adorable scene, I don't know what is. Number 8. The scared gibbon. Have you ever experienced that overwhelming feeling when encountering a new animal and becoming instantly fascinated? Well, it seems that humans are not alone in this phenomenon. Similar to us, many animals in the animal kingdom get agitated when faced with unfamiliar creatures approaching them. In the following video, we witness a memorable encounter between a gibbon and a hedgehog at a wildlife park. Clearly, the gibbon had never encountered a hedgehog before, as it had an extreme reaction upon seeing one. It is essential for animals to remain vigilant when encountering unfamiliar species, as they could potentially pose a threat. One can only imagine the countless thoughts racing through the gibbon's mind in that moment. Ultimately, the overwhelmed creature decided the situation was too much to handle and retreated to its home. It's always better to be safe than sorry, after all. Number 9. The stealthy tiger. We've all probably watched movies like The Jungle Book and The Life of Pi, in which tigers are portrayed as calm and possibly friendly creatures capable of forming a bond with humans. However, I'm not sure where those filmmakers got their ideas from, because these top predators are far from friendly. Once they spot their prey, they become relentless hunters, and it's mealtime. This video, filmed at a zoo in Louisiana, illustrates this point. It shows a group of men having a conversation in front of a tiger enclosure, and shockingly, one of them even approaches the intimidating feline. You can clearly observe the tiger assuming a hunting stance, preparing to pounce on what it believes to be an unsuspecting meal. When the tiger gets close enough, it lunges at the man, but soon realizes there is a glass barrier separating it from its intended dinner. This incident exemplifies the impressive hunting abilities of these animals, showcasing qualities such as patience, stealth, and seizing the perfect opportunity to strike. Number 10. The food struggle. Most people visit the zoo for entertainment, wanting to witness animals engaging in unusual behavior and entertaining them. Some zoos even cater to this desire by organizing sideshows and attractions featuring the animals. However, there are instances when the animals, particularly when they are hungry, are not interested in entertaining anyone. In the following video, we witness a humorous incident where a zookeeper attempts to play with a camel to amuse the visitors. The problem arises when the camel, who is extremely hungry and in a bad mood, seizes the food basket held by the zookeeper and refuses to let go. Camels possess remarkable biting power due to their large teeth and strong jaws, comparable to that of a lion. Considering the camel's intense hunger, it's evident that the zookeeper had no chance of winning the battle. Number 11. The Snuggly lions. If you ever encounter a lion, it is common to want to run away to protect yourself. Lions are incredibly dangerous and deadly predators, and they don't play around when they see potential prey. It seems, however, that we may have unfairly judged lions because some of them actually enjoy affection. There is a video from March 2019 that proves this, showing a lion jumping into a cart filled with tourists at a lion park in Crimea. The cart was driving through an open forest when the lion suddenly approached it. Surprisingly, instead of attacking, the lion hopped into the cart and rolled over, seeking cuddles from everyone. In another case, a different lion at the same park patiently stood by the cart, as if waiting for permission to join. Once he was allowed in, he immediately started hugging the tourists. Although these lions were likely neutered or domesticated, I personally wouldn't be comfortable trying this experience anytime soon. Number 12. The acrobatic gibbon. Gibbons are typically calm creatures, much like other apes in their family. They prefer to reside in trees and enjoy socializing with other species as long as there is no potential danger involved. However, it may come as a surprise to learn that gibbons can also possess impressive acrobatic skills. In November of 2017, a visitor at the Dudley Zoo in England had the privilege of witnessing a gibbon demonstrate its remarkable swinging abilities. This white-handed gibbon effortlessly maneuvered between trees and branches, even incorporating eating into its graceful display. The gibbon's movements were so smooth and natural that it was apparent it had been swinging for a considerable amount of time. It was a fascinating experience, as apes in zoos are typically seen sitting, eating, or sleeping. This gibbon, however, decided to provide an entertaining show for everyone, making the visit to the zoo well worth it. Number 13. Louie the Clean Gorilla. Humans have evolved from primates in various ways, one of them being our ability to walk upright on two legs. While some other primates, such as gorillas and chimpanzees, can also walk on two legs for short periods of time, they generally prefer walking on all fours. However, there is a unique exception to this pattern in the form of Louis, a large primate residing at the Philadelphia Zoo. Reportedly, Louis has trained himself to walk on both legs almost constantly, unlike other primates. This behavior is not entirely uncommon among primates, but for Louis, it stems from his obsession with cleanliness. Whenever Louis has his hands full of food or snacks, he chooses to walk on two legs to keep his food clean, maintaining this posture until he returns to his habitat. Some may argue that it is worth considering evaluating Louis's intelligence through an IQ test. Number 14. A family affair. One fascinating aspect of animals is observing their uniqueness and relationships unfold in real time. Many of us are aware that dogs and wolves are seemingly related, with dogs being descendants of the ancient gray wolf. Essentially, dogs are domesticated versions of wolves found in the wild, but these animals differ in various ways. In 2009, a visitor at a German zoo witnessed an intriguing moment when their pet dog encountered a couple of wolves. It was captivating to see the animals interact, even though they didn't bark or howl at each other. It makes you ponder if they shared thoughts or communicated in some way, considering they are distant cousins. Perhaps a simple greeting like, "Hey, how are you doing today?" would have been nice. Number 15. A chimp's preference. Further proof of the high intelligence found among many primates is evident in this video. I recommend watching it to observe the chimpanzee's delight as it quenches its thirst with a sip of the beverage, which surely brought great refreshment. Number 16. The lion's unreachable meal. At nearly every zoo, lions are a major attraction due to their size and regal appearance. They are often seen as the rulers of the jungle, and it is captivating to watch them move about in their natural habitat, displaying their dominance. However, it is important to remember that lions are also fierce animals with a strong appetite for human flesh, and they will go to great lengths to satisfy it. An example of this can be seen in a video captured at an Oregon zoo where a lion aggressively attempted to attack a young boy. Thankfully, there was a thick glass barrier separating them, ensuring the child's safety. Surprisingly, the boy seemed completely unaware of the lion's aggression, casually turning his back and continuing to smile at his parents filming him. Meanwhile, the frustrated lion relentlessly tried to reach him, perhaps puzzled by the boy's lack of understanding. It is difficult not to empathize with the lion, as it must have been confused as to why its mission was not succeeding. One can only wonder how long it took for the lion to realize its efforts were in vain. Number 17. The Primate Craftsman. If you have any doubts about the intelligence of apes, this video will definitely change your perspective. Unlike others who showcase primates using smartphones or engaging in basic tasks, this orangutan's abilities go beyond the ordinary. With impressive skill, the ape demonstrates its proficiency in sawing. It carefully tests the sharpness of the tool and then proceeds to work with precision. Surprisingly, even though it is a totally wild animal, it has somehow figured out how to use the saw effectively. It is reported that the orangutan learned this skill by observing humans constructing buildings near its shelter. By simply watching the men, it acquired the knowledge of handling a saw and applying it to a hard surface. The orangutan's technique is also remarkable, as it stabilizes the log of wood with its leg while working on it. This orangutan's intelligence is so impressive that with a few more years of practice, it might even be able to start its own carpentry business. Number 18. Plenty to go around. On occasions, it can be enjoyable to share resources, not only within one's own species, but even with other animals. For instance, when you give some of your food to your dog, it can be a pleasurable experience. Similarly, black swans have demonstrated a charitable behavior in a captivating incident captured in 2012. The video showcased a couple of black swans feeding koi fish in a Taiwan lake. They distributed pellets to the fish, ensuring that each one received a portion. However, this act was not purely driven by altruism, as experts explain. The black swans required the pellets to be moistened in the water for easier digestion. Consequently, the fish would be alerted by this process and gather around to be fed as well. Over time, the swans became skilled at simultaneously feeding the fish while satisfying their own hunger. Therefore, this interaction turned into a mutually beneficial arrangement for all parties involved. Number 19. Thanks for the lunch. Animals residing in zoos spend an inordinate amount of time looking for food. Although they do receive regular meals, it's common knowledge that adhering solely to a scheduled feeding routine is not particularly enjoyable. However, what happens when a craving for a small snack arises between meals? In the case of one orangutan, an amiable zoo-goer came to the rescue by sharing some of their food. The footage, recorded in 2018, captures the moment when the orangutan politely requests a midday snack from the visitor. Showing gratitude, the compassionate individual drops a banana, which the delighted primate eagerly devours. Additionally, to everyone's surprise, the orangutan even returns the banana peel in a remarkably polite manner. It's imperative to keep this occurrence confidential, and just like that, a snack was acquired. Number 20. The Great Escape. While many people enjoy visiting the zoo for various reasons, such as bonding with animals or finding entertainment, it is important to remember that not all animals share the same sentiment. For some, zoos can feel like a form of imprisonment as they are taken away from their natural habitats. Despite efforts by zoos to recreate a similar environment, it can never truly replicate the animals' natural homes. Consequently, it is not surprising to occasionally witness animals attempting to escape from captivity. This phenomenon is not limited to land animals alone, as evidenced by an octopus at the Seattle Aquarium in 2019. This particular octopus decided to embark on a bold escape attempt, providing amusement for spectators initially. However, the situation turned serious when the octopus actually made progress and managed to leave its enclosure. Yet, being an aquatic creature, it likely soon realized its mistake upon leaving the water. Luckily, the zookeepers quickly intervened to address the situation. What are your thoughts? Have you witnessed any unusual events at a zoo? Share your experiences in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.